Hi, my name is Cheryl Spangler. Welcome to the Good Side of Crypto. And in this video, I am going to share with you kind of a story of how I came to identify my YouTube channel's solution to a problem you probably have, and how you can use this to create your own solution to a problem that people have out there, and just kind of broaden your perspective while giving you my story. And it started with about 8 months ago. I decided, after buying a lot of virtual land on inside of metaverses, that there was a big challenge. There was a big problem. I own all this virtual land. I started doing videos about virtual land projects and metaverses, and I found that all these virtual landowners, the one problem that we had was that we needed to monetize that virtual land. We needed to rent that virtual land out, and we needed to be able to do it easy. Most people are not marketing experts. They're not developers. They don't know how to do a smart contract. The problem that I identified, this was like 8 months ago, and at the time, of course, I didn't realize that there were other companies that I'm going to mention that were doing the same thing. All of us realizing that the biggest problem was that we needed to monetize these digital assets, and for me specifically virtual land, and figure out a way to rent them and earn money on them without having to wait for each project to come up with their own land manager, which they are currently doing, but I have yet to see one actually launch. And so that was the problem. And so my solution in my mind, and I'm always journaling solutions to problems and trying to find that thing that there's a missing hole. And I'm sure that you're out there too, trying to figure out what could you create, what could you design, what could you invent, or what problem can you solve, right? The solution was a smart contract, a very simple smart contract that allowed virtual land owners, virtual land NFT owners, to rent out their NFT for a specified period of time, add additional criteria to that contract, collect in crypto or fiat, and allow people access to their virtual land metaverse project and access the land and put whatever they want on it, sell their products and services. And that was the solution, a simple smart contract. And in fact, what I did was spend a lot of time researching and figuring out how many types of NFTs, virtual land NFT being one of them. I actually did a little bit of stuff backwards, which I'm sure some of you do. When you're trying to create something, is I created a white paper about renting NFTs. It was literally called Virtual Land Rental Manager, the name of the white paper. I drew diagrams. I reached out to a blockchain architect that I had met in a blockchain course that I took. We attempted to do like kind of a mind map of what this product would look like and everything around it. I identified all the use cases, meaning all of the NFT potential NFTs that could be rented, like in-game assets, wearable NFTs, virtual land NFTs, profile picture NFTs, art NFTs, so digital art, access NFTs, social access NFTs, loan insurance NFTs, something that really hasn't come about yet, domain name NFTs. So I'm literally writing all this stuff down. I'm creating this white paper. Months went by. And then I even bought a domain name, created a website of what it would look like, created a website for where people would go and actually use this smart contract with each project. Of course, I didn't reach out to the projects for integration because there was nothing created. I didn't actually get a smart contract developed and created itself. And the reason I'm telling you this is because there is a little bit of a pivot that happened that I want you to know and I want you to hear, so that you don't think that everyone always comes up with these really good ideas right off the bat and it just works out perfectly for them. It doesn't. But if you're flexible and if you're willing to pivot and if you're willing to say, maybe instead of competing with other people doing that thing that you wanted to do, maybe you create a solution to a problem that their solution will create. And so let me explain. So I get all this stuff done and I've got this website built, this white paper, 3/4 of the way done. and I name it I just literally called it NFT rental manager. And then I start really doing a deep dive into competition. Now, I should have actually done that first, but I wanted to know the scope of what I was thinking about creating, right? And I came up with the two, what I felt was competition for renting NFTs. And if you haven't checked out one of the videos, I just recently did an overview of RE NFT. They are brilliant, amazing. They've got a smart contract. They've been doing this for like over a year. They've went through almost every scenario of how you could rent. They've come up with some solutions of their own. And so the question was like, well, am I going to compete with RENFT or IQ Labs? Am I going to just be the third one? Because I think there is going to be a third one. There's going to be, I think, a couple different companies that come out, not to mention every project is coming out with their own rental manager built into the project. I mean, like I could list literally the top 20 metaverses. Everyone's saying they're going to have it built in, right? But then there's going to be these third party. Is that what I want to compete with? Or, and I'm just telling the story because I think it's important to share wins, losses, and pivots, and how things come to be, and maybe it will inspire you. I found these solutions to how to rent your NFT and said, do I want to compete with them? Or will the solution that they offer to the ability for someone to rent their NFT out in a variety of ways, I'm not going to go into their solutions, that could be a different video. Will their solution create additional problems that maybe I could solve? And instead of trying to compete with them, I could partner with them, or not necessarily partner, but I could come up with a secondary solution to a problem that they don't realize is about to happen with their solution. So I thought about that, and I let go of ego and, I'm going to come up with this greatest smart contract that's going to rent NFTs. It's going to integrate it into every project. It's going to be seamless and easy, and no one's going to have to be technical in order to do it. Instead, I was like, well, I might have missed the boat. I didn't have a big team in place. Whatever. I just realized that maybe this was to get me to another spot. So I said, what problem will happen and come about when they implement their solution? And here is what I found. They both, and just for now, I'm referring to RENFT and IQ Labs, which are completely different companies offering different solutions. And they both are coming up with, they have marketplaces. And on those marketplaces, and they're going to try to integrate into all of the projects of all the different NFTs that could be rented. And they created a protocol, smart contract, okay? And when they implement that, there is a secondary problem that all owners of NFTs will have to deal with. The solution to one of those problems is what I aim to solve in this channel. So everyone wants to buy NFTs. They go to the various marketplaces to buy them, whether it's OpenSea or Solana's new marketplace or whatever. There's a variety of marketplaces. There's a lot of marketplaces that you're going to buy NFTs. And then when you go to rent it, you're going to be searching for a way to rent, and you're going to find these two solutions or probably more. But then you're going to run into a problem that these solutions create for you. Specifically, there are at least 9 different kinds of NFTs, okay, at least, right? That's a growing number that can be rented either now or in the future. And I have decided to focus on the virtual land NFT located in a metaverse, which is typically one of the first things that is sold when a metaverse is created. There, it's defined by a certain number of virtual land plots, and those land plots are sold, and then something is built and created, gameplay or AR, VR on top of it. So it's one of the first things created and sold. And that is the focus of specifically of the NFT owner that I'm focused on. But if you're thinking about creating something, don't forget that there are at least 8 other types of NFTs that need to be rented, that can be rented, that can be monetized. All the ones that I mentioned, in-game, wearable, art, domain names, loan NFTs, profile picture NFTs. So you could create an add-on solution that could help those NFT owners with the problem that would come up after they decide to rent. So let's say you're a virtual landowner, you've just found this, the RE NFT or the other product that basically allows you to rent, but the problem is now you have to figure out how to market, not just put that land into a marketplace like they're creating. You have to figure out, you have more than one. You have, let's just say you have 100 different NFTs, specifically in virtual land, that you are wanting to get out and market to potential renters, and not just to potential renters, to potentially the highest renter quality that you can. And just throwing it out onto a marketplace isn't really an ideal market strategy. Let's just put it in perspective. You decide that you want to go buy 3 investment properties, real physical real estate investment properties, and you go buy them. And the first thing you're going to do after you purchase them is you're going to want to put them up for rent. And you throw them out on Zillow Rental Manager. And people may find them, but maybe you don't get the greatest quality. So you come up with another marketing plan. You come up with a marketing plan that's going to bring in the highest quality renter. And then also that person says, well, hey, if you have this property over here in California, do you have any other properties? Because of course people are going to do that. The minute someone finds out you have a property for rent, first thing they ask is, do you have any other properties for rent? And you're going to say, yeah. And so meanwhile, you're working a full-time job and you're like, one person asks you, do you have any other properties for rent? And then 10 other people ask you, do you have any other properties for rent? The point is, your time is going to be sucked dry unless you have some presence out there showing all of your properties and ability to market all of your properties, create a story around your property, declare what its best use case is, where it can be used, how you can rent it, and basically people will get to know you as, oh, you should go check out so-and-so's properties, right? Not just put one NFT onto a marketplace and hope that someone who's great and has money will rent it from you, but instead create a presence for yourself as the person with the properties that are rentable for this use case. And maybe everything you buy is in-game NFTs because that's your passion. Maybe anything you buy is what I'm focused on, which is the virtual land, where you want to rent it to someone who has a product or service they're going to then create an experience and sell on that land. Whatever it is, you really need a place that you can direct people to say, when someone comes to you and says, well, what else do you have for rent? You know, what other kind of virtual land, what other kind of metaverse did you buy land in? That is the problem that these people who buy NFTs and go to rent them are going to have, that I'm going to provide a solution to. I don't know why I was inspired to do this video, because I thought there's something in my story that's going to help someone think of something that they're struggling with, or just to know that even though you come up with a great idea and someone else does too, you don't have to like try to compete with them. Maybe your solution is actually a solution to a problem that they'll have once that solution is created. So the solution, the problem is everyone needs to monetize their digital assets. The solution is, once renting NFTs in all of the kinds of NFTs, once that's implemented, everyone's going to be able to monetize every type of NFT. However, the next problem that is going to occur is how to market and manage your own bundle of NFTs. And that's going to determine, or that's going to be determined by what kind of NFT you have. And so if you own a virtual land NFT and you go to rent it and you need assistance with marketing and managing that portfolio, that is what this channel is all about. But I thought I would do a video about how that came to be and why I kind of adjusted things along the way over the last year as far as what the focus is, because that is why it changed, because I decided not to compete with the people who had already spent the last year doing their stuff, but instead to create a solution to a problem that will be created with their solution. And so what if you could have a template marketing plan designed specifically for you, the virtual landowner, to find the highest paying tenant? What if you could have a template website, a landing page, for all the virtual land that you own to be plugged into to promote it all in one place? What if you had a template set of email campaigns that would go out to potential renters once you collected their name and information on that landing page, automatically going out and the templates given to you? Because the one thing that people really do struggle with is what to create, how to create it, and what will convert, right? So a template marketing plan, a template landing page, and a template of email campaigns that would continually keep whoever signs up on your landing page up to date with what you have and what you have to offer, what's up for rent and what's not. That way, you're not basically inundated with a lot of people asking you, what else do you have for rent? And what is the use case of this? What project is that? What's the benefit of that project? What do they do in that project? I mean, there's so many things, and I would say problems and challenges that a virtual land owner will end up having once they buy and own a piece of virtual land and decide to rent it out, and they go to rent it out, right? Someone's going to want to know all that stuff. And you're either going to repeat that 100,000 times, or you're going to find me and you're going to get my template marketing plan, my template landing page, and my template email campaigns, and you're just going to implement them. And that is going to solve your biggest challenge once you decide and plan on renting. And the beginning of your digital empire will take a name and a face and a story. And that is the ultimate goal for you, is not to go change careers. You bought these digital assets. You have another job, right? Whatever it is that you do, that's what you do full time. That's how you make your bread and butter. That's how you pay your bills. But in the meantime, you've purchased these virtual land digital assets. You want to rent them out, but you don't want it to suck up all your time. And that is what ended up happening. And that is my story. And drop a comment if this resonates with anything that you've thought about doing or felt failure in creating something that then you turned around and like someone else already created right beside you and even better. And are you going to compete with it? And maybe you just felt like you were just, torn down, or that you shouldn't do it, or you weren't meant to do it, or you're just not smart enough, or whatever it is that you think. That is just not true. The truth is, if you were inspired to do that thing that maybe someone else got to first, or maybe created a better version of, maybe you were meant to solve a problem that their solution will actually create. Your expertise can be used better in solving a tiny problem that their solution creates than trying to compete with their solution. So anyway, this is kind of like an off the wall video, but let me know what you think about something you've tried to create and you realized someone else was doing it at the same time, and then you just gave up. Instead of giving up, what thoughts are running through your head after watching this video? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget, subscribe so you can get notified when I go live or when I drop new videos.
The sun is shining, I knew it would. The world's a playground, I'm in the clouds. Let me show you what it's all about. Check it out.